Okay, it's official. We're at the cabin for the Memorial Day weekend summer opener. I guess this is like the close enough to summer to call it summer. I mean, you can see it's still springy, a little wet. Green as all ever get up. We went from all that snow to all this green. Cabin's ready for some work. We're gonna start working not tile, but the rock today. We got 4 mice with the trap. That one trap got 4, the other one didn't get nothing, so it's over here airing out right now because a couple of them must have got in that night that I left because it was kind of stinky. Yeah, let me get that off there so that can air out. Let that air out, and then we'll set it back up and get more. Keep killing them. Get on them early this year. Last year was like a mouse party. They were everywhere. So anyways, here we are. I got some materials. We're gonna get in here and get to work. I moved that stove. First I gotta mark where the hole is gonna be because I'm gonna cut out underneath it so that we can have fresh air from underneath the cabin. Cut that out. Move the stove out of the way. I may take it home and do some welding on it. Move that out of the way, start getting this rock up. I'm gonna trim this because this is got to be trimmed because I don't want the rock to protrude out past here. So we're gonna trim that. I might even trim this too. We'll see. We'll see. Ooh, don't want to be playing with that. That'll take a finger off probably. Yep. So there we go. That's where we're at, and that's where we are. We're going to get to work on it as soon as right now. Okay, 1/4 inch backer board is not good enough for the floor. I got 2 1/2 inch pieces in the truck, and they're going to go. But one thing I wanted to point out is look at the thickness of that floor. Wowza. That's like freaking 3 inches. So there's my vent hole. That goes underneath the stove, and that's gonna allow us to use fresh air. I'm gonna put some mesh over it and put my backer board, cut the hole out my backer board and do that. That way it fits in there, and I've got mesh so no critters can crawl up into my stove. Nobody wants no critters crawling up in their stove. So okay, so we've made a little bit of headway. God, it almost looks like a shower stall. We've got 2 inches of a 1/4 here. We've got a 1/4 on the floor just because the 1/4 I've stepped through, so I didn't want to do just another bit of 1/4. And then the remnants of the 1/2 that went there is going on the face here. So we're about ready to put the chicken wire on the walls. And then just wait till tomorrow and start mixing up mortar and hooking down rock. But we got the hole cut. It's about a 6x6. I say about because it's about. And that hole there, the reason for that hole is if the stove is sucking air from outside, directly from outside, because it's always going to suck air from outside, it'll be sucking cold air and then sending the cold air that's turned to hot air out the chimney. If you allow the stove to suck air from inside of the cabin, this cabin especially, with all of the, I don't know if you can see, but if the sun's shining out there, you can see light through some of these holes everywhere. So the cabin is not super sealed up yet. Will it ever be? Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to try. But I figured that we might as well cut that hole, and then that way the hot air will expand in the cabin. You'll lose a little bit of hot air out, which is, I think, better than sucking some cold air in, a little bit of cold air in. Well, it looks like you got up this morning still living after cigars and whiskey last night. We're on the project. I got some of the rocks laid out. I think I'm going to start on the upright and see how the uprights stick. Move from there, do the floor. Because that way, if the uprights don't stick very well, I can do the border around the corner and start one and then stack them kind of. Anyways, that's where we're at. I'm making breakfast. I gotta go down to the pond to get some water. Maybe I'll take y'all with me when I go down there. I'm just gonna get a 5-gallon bucket of water, find a good bucket to mix that stuff in, and get to mixing and start mixing some mud and laying some rocks. All right. Okay. So we're getting somewhere. Starting to kind of almost look like something. Had to make a run to Home Depot because I couldn't find my mixing thing. I think that one's too big, so it can finish the one drill off, and another one's barely hanging on by a thread. I should have got a smaller deal. I think it's just too much for those crappy rigid drills. So one's completely smoked. It no worky, no morey. So we're doing the best we can with what we got. Anyways, Alice is here. Say hi, Alice.
Hi.
There's Alice.
Clean up here. There's lots of debris.
Yeah, lots of debris.
Not as much as when we first moved in, though, or bought the place.
Moved in. Alice is moving in now. I like it.
Moved in. No, that's the wrong word.
Okay. So, through some trials and tribulations and some hiccups along the way, this is where we're at. Still got to clean up that stuff there. I'm hoping to finish that. But this is where we got. We're probably going to get that finished and then call it. That's what we got there. We got Tony and Jen came out to visit. Tony got the chainsaw and got a little crazy over here. He cut a little bit of firewood. Just a little bit. And so that was the pile that we got the other day. We put a hurtin' on it. Or I should say, Tony put a hurtin' on it. I didn't do anything. Tony and Jen. Jen was helping too. Nice. Look at that. Tony's over here making breakfast. How are you guys doing this morning?
Good.
Good deal. And there's the star of the show right there. Look at this little guy here.